Hi everyone, we're Elisa and Jason from EECC Travels, and today we have come up with a list of 10 things that we wish we would have known before we took our first cruise. So we've learned a lot since our first cruise, and these are things just looking back that we may have started cruising a little earlier, or we may have done things a little bit different if we would have known these things.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna let Jason go first.
The first thing that I wish I would have known before cruising was definitely how big the ships actually were. I mean, I knew they were big ships, but I didn't really know how big. I wish I'd have known how they felt and how just grandiose they really were when you got on them. It really kind of took care of a lot of the concerns I had, having that claustrophobic feeling or that, that tight feeling. It was none of that. I don't know why I felt like that, but I just kind of did in my own mind, and I'm sure somebody else out there feels that same way. It's crazy as it sounds, but I just didn't know. And but I definitely wish I would have known just how big they are and how big they feel when you get on the ships. That was the number one thing I wish I would have known before cruising.
Right, because when you really can't comprehend how big that ship is until you're on it.
Man. So
you can see them off in the distance, you're like, wow, that's a big ship, but until you walk on it, it's massive. Even the small cruise ships are massive, and you don't realize and you can't comprehend it until you're really on it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're driving up past it and you see it there at port, you're like, wow, that thing's big, but you still just don't really know until you get on it, and you just kind of get lost on it. And it's like, oh, this isn't so bad. This is way easier than I thought. That was kind of my first thought, whenever I finally got on one for the first time. I was like, this is gonna feel totally normal and fine.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you don't even realize that ship's moving. It's so big, it's got such stability built into it.
It's like being on a hotel
that's floating
down the water. It's like taking a hotel, or like I tell a lot of people, or taking a hot tub to an island, man. It's really cool. What's not to like about that?
Right.
Okay.
All right, my turn. Okay, one thing we didn't realize on our first cruise is gratuity. So when we booked the cruise, we paid for the cruise and the port taxes and fees, and then we got on the ship.
Yeah.
And the second to last day, there's this fee that was charged on our account. And come to find out, that's gratuity. And that was just something we didn't realize as new cruisers, that you have to pay gratuity.
And on top of that, I'm sitting at the bar writing a tip in to everybody. They're handing me, this is the first time I've done this. I give them my sell and sign card. I'm just trying to figure out how this is all working. I'm looking around, seeing what everybody else is doing. I'm seeing people write tips in. They don't know any better either. So I'm just like, well, I kind of read something about this gratuity being already included. Well, we weren't really sure, but I ended up writing all the tips in that whole, at least I think it was that whole cruise. Yeah. I ended up writing in tips and adding it in, and then we get the bill for gratuity at the end of the cruise. So, man, we were some tipping fools on that cruise.
So just so you know.
But because we didn't know any better.
Right. So just so you know, when you go to a bar and you order a drink, they're adding a gratuity on already. You don't have to write in an additional gratuity. And then if you do not prepay your gratuities for the cruise, then at the end of the cruise, they're gonna add on a gratuity charge, which goes to your cabin steward and your dining room staff. So that's something I really wish I would have known about, because we did over tip on that cruise because we didn't know any better.
Oh well, I'd rather over tip than under tip.
That's right.
But still, nonetheless, comes out your pocketbook and it hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
or if you're not budgeted for that.
Yeah.
Because some people will just put cash on account, and then at the end of the cruise, you get this bill saying you owe guest services X number of dollars because there wasn't enough cash to cover what you have spent plus the gratuity.
That's exactly right. So that was a big one. That was a big one. I would say one of the things that I wish I would have known before cruising was that we could book excursions outside the cruise line. Also, you don't have to do an excursion in each port.
We didn't pre-book any excursions. On the first day, or the first sea day, we went to the port excursions talk that's held in the theater. And we're like, okay, well, I guess we'll do this in Cozumel. It was only 5 days to 2 ports.
Yeah, we picked our excursions
and
out.
then we paid for them and we went on the excursions. And then after the fact, and we still do book some excursions through the cruise line, but now we know.
A couple of cruises later, we're like, you know what? We don't have to do this. We can just kind of like shop around and do whatever we want, you know. I don't think it was a couple cruises later, but we definitely.
It was by the next one.
By the next one, we figured some stuff out, you guys.
I learned a lot in between cruise number 1 and cruise number 2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
Okay, my turn. All right, one other thing that we didn't know going in is you can order whatever you want in the dining room. When you go to the main dining room, you're given a menu.
Yes.
If you see 2 things in the appetizers and you kind of want to try them both, order them both. If you see 2 things in the entrees and you want to order them both, order them both.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying be wasteful. I'm not saying go in and order one of everything on the menu and just try a bite of each.
Don't be wasteful, but be adventurous.
Right.
You know,
if you truly see something you like and you want to try it, try it.
You work hard to pay for that cruise, and this vacation's all about indulgence, right? So you go, you've earned it. You go and you order what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were told this from some people, that we have known that's been on cruises, and they were like, oh, you can get whatever you want, but I was like, I don't know how much I really believe that. You know, I've never been to a restaurant in my life. I can just order whatever I want and feel good about it, number one, but thinking I can even do it in the first place is ridiculous. But yep, sure enough, I don't think I did it the first cruise, but just because I felt weird about it. But as cruising went on and we got more hip and wise to the whole thing, well, better believe I'm ordering some couple of entrees, couple appetizers.
Yeah, his main thing is on formal night getting the prime rib and the lobster.
Yeah, because I love prime rib so much, or lobster. I usually get 2 of each. You know, get 2 of them because one's just not enough. Sometimes the rate in which you pay for the cruise can be adjusted.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Lisa knows a lot about this now.
Yes. So if you book early, not like a last minute booking, but if you book early, every cruise line has like an early saver or an early rate. If you book under that rate and the price drops, you can get an adjustment. You can either call the cruise line or call your travel agent and say, hey, I saw that this price went down, and you can get it adjusted. Yeah. We did not know that on our first cruise.
No, not at all.
We know it now.
That's huge, big important.
It is very, and because not every time have I gotten price adjustments, but probably half of the cruises we've been on, I have been able to get a price adjustment.
Yeah.
So it's diligence, it's watching it, you know, keeping an eye on those
keep an
things.
eye on it, check on it every now and then, because it'll change. And
yep. The main time I've noticed that it's changed is if they advertise a big sale, and you know the difference between an everyday sale and a big sale. When those big sales come out, check your rate.
Yeah.
All right, something else we didn't know about is that a lot of times there are specials on the first day of the cruise. Like for instance, if you do a spa tour, not buying a spa package or anything, but if you go to the spa on the first day and you do their spa tour, they're trying to sell you stuff, but they also give you discounts on those first days.
Yeah, they do.
So if you, like, they normally have like a 10% off discount if you want to order, you know, so many spa treatments or whatever. We didn't know about that. Also, some cruise lines, I know Carnival does this, if you eat in the steakhouse or some other specialty dining restaurants on the first night, you get a free bottle of wine.
But also they'll do fun stuff at the end of those tours. They'll do like raffles or put your name in a drawing to win something, maybe a coupon. But you're putting yourself in a situation where you're giving yourself a chance to at least win something.
Right.
You know. So, but it's always been kind of fun.
Yeah, we've done those spa tours on the last couple of cruises.
It's a pretty fun way to kick off the cruise. You know?
It is.
Right, and that usually happens before sail away.
Yeah.
So you know you're not going to miss anything cool like sail away.
Right.
It usually happens before then, but it's we've always kind of done it.
Yeah.
And we've enjoyed it, you know? All right. One thing that we wish we would have known before was to not miss the shows. Because we typically, I think the first cruise we went on, was it late dining?
Yeah, the first 2 cruises we went on, we had late dining.
And that threw us off. And then by the time we got done dining, we were just so tired that we would miss the shows. Or the shows were going on during the time we were eating. And by the time we got done eating, it was too late to go to the late show. We were just tired. It just didn't work out for us because we usually eat early. We're used to eating early. We like to eat early and then go do the shows afterwards. But through all that process, we've learned how to manage our dining and when we need to eat. And we've also discovered not to miss the shows. You know, do whatever you got to do to get to those shows.
Those shows are really good. I mean, there has been times that we have decided to skip the dining room and eat somewhere else because we really wanted to see a show and get there on time.
Yeah.
So sometimes, depending on how the schedule works out, sometimes if you have late dining, there's an early show, or vice versa. But it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes you have to make that call to see the show and not go to the dining room and eat somewhere else. Or if you have anytime dining, that really works out to where you can make your schedule work for you.
Yeah.
But see the shows, they're really good.
Yeah, you know,
Really
they really are a lot of fun. Some are better than others, but you know, it's a nice way to hang out and finish the end of the day. Comedy shows are real good.
Yep.
But don't miss the shows. Wish we would have known that before the first time we went, because we really enjoy them now, you know.
Big thing for me, now y'all have seen I do packing videos on how to pack light. Don't overpack. On our first cruise, we so overpacked. We brought way more clothes. Our first cruise was a 5-day, and we probably brought enough clothes for 10 days. I mean, it was ridiculous how much we brought because we didn't know. We didn't know that you're gonna pretty much be in your swim trunks on sea days, and
we didn't know what to expect, but that's normal. That's why we're gonna let you know up front that hey, you don't have to do that. Chances are, it's like saying not touch the stove to your kid when they're little. They're gonna still try it for themselves anyway. You're probably still gonna overpack anyway.
At least the first time.
But you're gonna go back. You're gonna see what we're talking about. Okay. So you're gonna have to figure that out for yourself. But we're here to tell you, save you the grief. You don't have to do it because we so overpacked.
Oh my gosh! Don't bring a pair of shoes for every outfit. Things like that. Just pack and then take some stuff out of your suitcase because you're not gonna need it.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing we wish we would have known was that your cell phone might not have the correct time. You know, bring a watch.
Oh gosh.
Keep track of the time. You know, what time the ship time is. What time it is on the island that you're at. Because we didn't know, man.
No.
And you can get yourself in some sticky, bad situations if you're not accurate on the time.
That actually did happen to us on our first cruise. We got off, I don't remember if it was Progresso or Cozumel, but we got off the ship and we were going by our cell phones. Well, your cell phone's in airplane mode. So it's not, you know.
We didn't know.
We didn't know. And we almost were late getting back on the ship because I was like, oh, well, it says it's 3 o'clock. You know, we've got 2 more hours. And then we happened to ask someone what the time was. Well, it wasn't 3 o'clock. It was like 4 o'clock. So it was.
I would never let us be late for getting back on a ship because I am kind of a little crazy maniac about we don't want to be late. We don't want to miss our ship. I can kind of dwell on things.
Yeah.
Until my mind can rest easy, you know, unfortunately. But that's a good thing too, right?
Yeah.
But,
so wear a real watch, or at least one person in the party wear a real watch that you can adjust and set it to whatever the ship time is. Some cruise lines, the ship time never changes. It goes just with the port you leave. Some, as you move into different time zones, the ship time changes. So be sure you have the correct time.
And I know a lot of y'all hate wearing jewelry. I don't like wearing watches.
I don't really wear a watch either.
I don't like the way it feels.
Yeah.
But maybe you could get one, you know, just for the trip. You know. Alrighty, let's see. What's the next one?
Okay, last thing that we didn't know is how incredible a cruise is. I mean, really, it's
boom! It was awesome.
So much different than a land vacation.
Changed our life.
Okay, so we had always in the past, you know, okay, well, we're gonna go to this destination and we're gonna stay in this hotel and we're gonna do these things and we're gonna eat at these places. You have to plan out so many details. With a cruise, you pick your cruise, the itinerary's laid out for you. You wake up in the morning and they give you a list of activities to choose from. If you want to do something in port, great. Here's some excursions you can choose. If you want to walk off the ship and explore on your own, you can do that too. It's so different than any type of other vacation. A cruise really stands on its own. And since our first one, we've kind of become just a little addicted to them. Yeah, just a little bit. So we really love cruising, and it's just different. And now that we understand it and can wrap our head around what a cruise is, we just love it.
To me, it's the way to vacation. It's relaxing, and then you get just enough relaxing. You got the sea days, totally chill, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready for something different. Next thing you know, you're at port. You're like, okay, let's go check out Costa Maya or Jamaica, wherever you're at, it's a nice balance, and then, if you don't want to do an excursion, you don't have to, you just can freely explore on your own terms. That's so cool.
We love doing that. Our last 2 cruises, we didn't book a single excursion. We just got off the ship, we wandered, we did what we wanted. And
I personally think the best plan is not to have a plan. That's the way to go. But sometimes you gotta have a plan.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun to have something organized to do.
Yeah.
All right, and we have one little bonus that Jason learned in Progresso.
Okay, one thing I learned on our first cruise, on our first port ever in my life, we went to Progresso, is don't let them lure you out there on the beach and put you in one of those chairs and make you tilt your head backwards and let them dump red tequila down your throat.
Tequila's not supposed to be red.
Don't do it.
Somebody got real sick.
Don't do it. I got sick, and our port day at the following day in Cozumel was the sail and snorkeling. It was beautiful. We were gonna get on we got on the Fury catamaran, and we went snorkeling. Well, I went snorkeling all right. Also fed the fish. If you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I got a little upset in my stomach. All right, and then I ended up sleeping the whole thing. It was terrible. Like, I felt like death. I got poisoned pretty bad.
Yeah.
Something poisoned me. It was terrible. But don't drink the red tequila in Progresso. Don't drink red tequila ever, anywhere. Don't do it.
Tequila's not red, people. He learned this the hard way. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. These truly are things that we wish we would have known. We're sharing our knowledge with you guys. Yeah. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe for more videos to come. And until next time.
Happy cruising.
Bye.